Hey everyone, this is Joel from Eduphoria, and in this video I want to quickly demonstrate how to use facilities and events to manage an inventory. In the case of what's happening in districts now, this may be a good idea if you're doing a one-to-one rollout very quickly and you need to track the devices that you have and then who you're assigning those items out to. And so we're going to go into the application facilities and events. And the areas that we're really going to focus on are going to be inventory and also inside the manage section. So inside inventory is where you want to create the place that you're going to store all of your devices. And I think most of us would prefer to be able to assign them out by campus, but in this day and age, you may just have one room where you're going to import all of your devices and then assign them from that location. So what I would recommend is you select one of your buildings that's coming from the system management side. So this is a list of all the buildings that are available that were created as schools or departments in system management. You could create a department called Chromebook Rollout if you wanted to in system management that would be able to show here, or you could select a building that already exists in the system and create a room in that building where you will upload all of your assets that you are going to be checking out to students or to staff. I recommend just using a building that already exists. Room is basically a container of all the assets. It's like a folder where everything will reside. So what I would do is I would select a building that already exists, add room. I do happen to have one here that's called student Chromebook, so I'm just going to create that room. And in this room, I'm just going to call it, for room title, Chromebook checkout, for example. And room number is going to be the same, and it's going to have more than max seating, but we're not going to deal with that because we're not really doing a reservation and assignment of the room. It's going to be the contents of that room. And this is important because we're going to go over to use the importer in a second for what it is that we're going to be bringing mass quantities of into this room. Before we go into the importer, you want to go to the Manage tab here to make sure that you have a matching asset category and a matching asset class. And a category is just the overall large group item of what it is that you're importing. Then you want to create your asset class, and this is more of a simpler view of a specific item. So think of the category as the folder container for these types of items. And so now I have student Chromebook, or I have HP Chromebook under the class of student Chromebooks. And I'll show you why that's important in a little bit when we get into the importer. So I am going to go over to the importer here, which is where we can set up information for doing an import from a spreadsheet. And I actually have a tab open where it's showing the settings for what I want to import. Once you get in here to do the import, you can select, of course, the category, the asset category. So the general heading is technology, but if I wanted to specifically say these are going to be student Chromebooks and they're going to be the HP ones that we just created, then when I'm creating the spreadsheet, that information will upload for that specific category. And down here is the data schema. This is how you're going to define your importer spreadsheet for what it is that you want to track from the spreadsheet over into the system. And I'm going to clear it out and bring over things that I think most importers would need. Again, this is a CSV file that you will upload. You define the schema for what you want to track in your individual columns, and then I'll show you in an Excel spreadsheet how those match up. So our first one, we're going to pull the title. I am going to pull over the manufacturer, the model of whatever devices they are, barcode. I am going to track the serial number, campus I'm uploading this into, and the room number. I do want to make sure I'm tracking the asset class. If I open the financial information, may want to track information like the purchase date, may want to track purchase order number, but just having this list of items that I want to include in an import is important to me. So now I'm going to pull over an Excel spreadsheet that I've been working on. And before you can do an import, what you have to make sure is that the headers of what it is you're importing match the order that you've set for the information that you're pulling over. So for example, I have here the title, I have manufacturer, and these are matching, model, barcode, serial number, campus, room number, and then we have asset class, purchase date. So I can change it here in the system. So I'm actually just going to click and drag my assigned student number back up here. So purchase date, purchase order number. So the order is matching. You'll want to fill the spreadsheet with all of the information before you do the import. You're going to need to delete your headers because the system can't read the header information. It's already established in the importer. And then once you upload that information, it's going to match what you have in the spreadsheet to the schema that you've created over here. So again, here I have my Excel spreadsheet. I've removed the header. I've saved my file. It is a CSV file. And what I'm going to do now is I've gone into import assets under the manage tab here, and I'm going to start a new import. I'm going to select my file here, upload. Make sure everything matches. I'm using it to go to student Chromebooks, and my asset class is student Chromebook HP, and I'm going to go ahead and ask it to process. And once your importer has gone through, you can go back to your inventory tab, select your campus where you imported, go to that asset room that has everything uploaded in it. You'll see the information has uploaded. A very quick way to make changes to the system is to click this advanced button, and you'll see all of your assets in here. There's this control bar at the bottom if you have multiple screens of data to go into. But one thing that I would recommend doing is using the shift key to select all of the items that you have and then mass edit. And one of the things that you'll need to do, especially if you're going to be checking out the devices to students, is to go in and set that as a setting. One of the options that is available is that these assets can be assigned to a student by a staff member. And then you would select the staff member, whoever that is for your district. I'm just going to use an admin one here to select that user and update. And that would allow me as the admin in the system to go in to check out the device to a particular student. Even if you've uploaded that roster information in there, this is another way to check out devices to specific students. The last part of this video is showing how you can use a kiosk system for checking out devices to students. So I'm logged in as admin. Remember, admin was just set up to be the one to check out devices to students. So I have a students tab here, and there is at the bottom a check-in and check-out kiosk mode. And the first thing that I will do is search for a student. And when I have all my students that's showing up from the roster system, I can select a specific student and click next, and asset checkout, which is what I'll do to assign something to this student. I have the item that is showing. It is showing that it is currently not assigned, so I'm going to select the item that I want to check out and click next, and it's going to have the student. Type in your name and student ID to confirm. So our student's name was Jonathan Alls, and I'm going to paste that ID information there. And so it has completed the checkout for Jonathan Alls. I can print a receipt to give to the student. I can go back and do a check-in. I can do another checkout for this particular student, or I can click next student to continue that process. And what it's doing on the back end is, as these items are being assigned to the students, it's tracking all of that information here inside the inventory. So when I go to my inventory and I go to the room, and for the particular assets, if I need information, if I click on the journal, it's going to show me the history of the asset checkout. Please do not hesitate to reach out to your eduphoria training team for support. We are here to help you. If you need help with importing, if you need help with the reservation system, please contact us at training@eduphoria.net. We'd be happy to help.